name's Mike, and I'm part of the staff here at 5-Star Orthodontic Lab and Supply. And today I'd like to talk to you about the different types of properties associated with the various types of wires that you normally use in your office. This is kind of a continuation. If you watched the previous video on the wire gauge, we determined that we found out what type of wires, sizes they were. Now we needed to know what type of wire we're dealing with. Is it a steel? Is it a CNA? Is it a nickel titanium? Is it a thermally activated nickel titanium? Okay, so here we have the basic types of wires in front of us here. We have a stainless steel, we have our CNAs, we have our nickel titanium, and we have our thermal plus nickel titanium wire. I'd like to show you the difference to start out with the stainless steel. Stainless steels are a very rigid wire. It's easy to determine if you have a stainless steel. You can take a plier and at the end there just bend a 90-degree bend on it, and if you notice, you bend it and that's the way it stays. There's no flexibility to it. It's rigid and it holds its shape whatever you bend it to. So that's a really simple one right there. Now your beta CNA or your CNA wires are more so like a more modern stainless steel, if you will, has some different properties. This allows you a little bit of flexibility, even though it's still a very rigid wire. But if you notice, you can bend this one here and you get some snap back to it. You notice here again, bend it, you see how it snaps back? It has a little bit of disforming, but nowhere near like the steel. So that would let you know if it's you're working with a beta or a CNA wire. Now the next one is a very common wire is the nickel titanium, short, some people call them NiTis. Some places call them flexible wires, or super elastic is another name out there. Anyway, the NiTi wires are pretty simple. These are really good wires to work with. If you notice, they're very flexible. You can bend them, you can distort them, and they just snap right back into place. So this is a very common wire that's used. And then the last one I'd like to talk to you about, makes it a little bit different, is what we call our thermal plus titanium arch wires. This has the properties where you can disform it and make it easy to tie in, especially when you have overlapped teeth or a lot of crowding and it's hard to tie your wire in. This has a property in it. It allows you to work with the wire when you get it really cold. The wire becomes very limp and very pliable, so it allows you to manipulate the wire into the slots without putting a lot of stress on your bracket and popping it perhaps. And I'm just going to briefly show you how this little guy works. Okay, so we have our little wire here, and I have some cold iced water and some room temperature water, or you can also use this little guy here, which is we call it a polar bear ice stick. You can get these through our supply department or order online at shop.5starortho.com. And if you look really close, it has a little slot in the end of the tip that allows you to take your wire and slip it into the slot and then bend it the way you need to, again, manipulating it. But let's just say here that we're gonna chill this wire down really cold, and we're gonna manipulate it. So I'm gonna stick it in here in some ice water, which would be either chill spray or maybe, again, the ice stick. We're gonna let it get all nice and limp there. And you're gonna see how you're gonna really be able to tie this guy up in knots. Okay, so you see it here. We can take this little guy, and you see what we've done here. We really just kind of twisted this little guy off. Now let's watch what happens when I stick it in the mouth, in the regular wire there. If you notice, it starts popping back to its original shape. Voila. There's your difference in a thermally activated nickel titanium wire. These are really good wires to work. If you don't need the thermal activation part of the wire, some offices I know like to carry only thermal NiTis because they can cut down on the amount of inventory they have online, and they are really a better wire to work with. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and again, if you ever get stuck with any these, or you have questions, by all means, you can always email us, Mike at 5starortho.com, or give us a call there, and we can help you out with your questions.